There we go. Hey everybody. So this is just a severe weather update from earlier on this afternoon. We saw 8 severe thunderstorm warnings pop up between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. and things calmed down for about a half hour, and now we're seeing another severe thunderstorm warning pop up. So we'll take a look at this one, take a look at some other rain showers that are affecting the area, and then we'll actually go through some storm reports that we got in from our viewers. If you were tuning in earlier on for our Fox Local broadcast, as well as on the Fox 35 website, there was incredible hail video from a woman in Palm Bay, and it was crazy how quickly that hail fell, and so that was crazy because it almost looked like snow. It quite literally looked like a whole bunch of ping pong balls just fell from the sky and just coated the ground. So we'll take a look at why we saw that and what caused that, and take a look at some other storm reports. Mary in St. Cloud, you said that rain was awesome, and it looks like you're still getting a little bit of rain from some of the thunderstorms that are starting to fizzle out as well. So let's break down the current radar. Right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect in Lake County. So this is just to the east of the villages. So if you're in Eustis, Umaltia, you're in this area of seeing some very heavy rain, seeing a lot of lightning as well, about 150 lightning strikes with this right here. We're live on Facebook. We are live on our YouTube as well as Fox Local. So that's what we're looking at. So if you do have any storm reports, anything that you'd like to write in from the storms that were on earlier on this afternoon, definitely let us know. We would love to hear it, to kind of just get a bigger picture of what happened as those storms really fired up today. So again, if you're just joining us, a severe thunderstorm warning in parts of Lake County. This is just to the north of Eustis as well. If you're in Chain of Lakes, Cassia, as well as Seminole Springs, that's what we're going to be seeing right there. Amy, yes, so we got hail in Palm Bay, and we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But right now, severe thunderstorm warning. National Weather Service is right now saying that with that severe thunderstorm warning, possibly looking at 60-mile-per-hour winds. So let's actually take a look at that. Right now, taking in that little bright spot, looking at about 20 to 25 mile per hour winds, but could easily gust to about 60. Yeah, so looking at about 25 mile per hour winds, radar indicated at the moment. This is in effect until 6:15, and there is the possibility of some small hail associated with this storm, but it could get up to quarter is in the coin size for hail. Is what we're seeing with this storm right now. So that's from National Weather Service. Again, if you're in the northeastern portion of Lake County, that's what we're seeing right now. Just looks like a pretty bad thunderstorm that has continued to pick up. Oops. And again, when we see those lightning strikes really start to not only congregate in an area, but also a lot of them in a small area, usually is a good indicator that that storm is strengthening. So that's what we're seeing out on the radar right now. Taking a look in areas across Claremont, down the Florida's Turnpike, moving down towards Ocoee, seeing some showers, but not really seeing any too intense thunderstorms there. If you were watching our 5 o'clock show, you could hear the rain on our roof, and it was intense. Definitely caused some traffic along the I-4 corridor, and we'll take a look at that in just a minute. But I do want to get back to our Facebook comments so I can keep up with that. Greg, thank you again for all of your write-ins right now. Melbourne does look clear, but areas especially across eastern Orange County, right on the border of Lake County, just to the east of Claremont, looks like some showers is there. Orlando, moving down towards the theme parks, you're going to be getting some showers in a little bit. So as we do take a look at the next past 15 minutes, this shower slowly going to start to move towards Disney. So right now, starting to see some showers in the Magic Kingdom. If you're in Epcot right now, right here is where Epcot is, as well as Hollywood Studios right next door. Animal Kingdom, they're going to be starting to see those showers as all of this rain moves. this way. So towards Disney Springs. This is also going to impact areas if you're in Epic Universe. So Epic Universe is right here. So you're going to be seeing a little bit of rain within the next, or you're going to be seeing a good amount of rain, excuse me, in the next 5 minutes or so. Same with SeaWorld. SeaWorld is right here. So just to the south of Epic Universe, probably within the next 5-10 minutes, you will be seeing that rain as well. So that's what we're seeing across Orange County. Just a couple of very scattered showers. That rain that was hammering our roof here in Lake Mary at the Fox 35 studio, starting to break up a little bit more, seeing much lighter rain making their way into northern Brevard County now. Ultimately, what we can see is all of these storms are either going to fizzle themselves out, or they're just slowly going to start to make this easterly track. So areas across Brevard County, your severe weather is done. However, you're not out of the woods when it comes to rain quite yet. Areas across Osceola County, there were multiple severe thunderstorm warnings right on the border of Brevard and Osceola County. So right around here near Deer Park area, and also Yeehaw Junction also saw a severe thunderstorm warning as well. So now we're just seeing that rain, more of those storms fizzling out, and going to continue to make their way eastward as we head into a little bit later on. Areas in Polk County south of the I-4 corridor, if you're in Dundee, Lake Wales, Frostproof, going to be seeing some more thunderstorms pop up, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of them did go severe as we start to see the heat of the day finally start to come down and that energy get lost. So one thing that I do want to pop up right here, so again, still keeping an eye on the severe thunderstorm warning in Lake County that is in effect until 6:15, but I do want to pop up these are special weather statements. So what this is just storms that the National Weather Service is keying in on for storms that are strong but not quite at the severe strength yet. And it looks like the strongest storms are up in Lake County at the moment. So I do want to take this off because it does get a little confusing as they are always popping up. Sean Ramsey, Orange County by the airport. Airport does look clear right now, but again, they're going to be seeing some more rain continuing to move in, and that is a great question and a great segue. I showed this in the 5 o'clock show right here. For airport delays, OIA right now, all flights are grounded until 6:15. So that is because of the intense rain and all of the lightning that was over the airport the past couple of hours. All flights are grounded until 6:15 of what we can see right there. So again, OIA ground stop until 6:15. So there is no flights going in, no flights going out. But the other airports looks like Daytona Beach looks okay, Sanford looks okay, but I'm sure there's delays because of all the rain that we got there. Gainesville, things look good, and then down towards Melbourne, things look okay as well. But I'm sure that there were definitely some delays earlier on. So great question with the airport right there. Something that I do want to show and actually go back on. So we did get a lot of reports, and again, this is from Amy in Palm Bay, and I do want to also pull up our YouTube comments now that I think of it. Okay, looks good over there. But Amy, you said in Palm Bay you got hail. There were actually reports of what people thought was a tornado. There was not a tornado in Palm Bay. There were severe thunderstorm warnings across Palm Coast, but in Palm Bay and Brevard County, there was actually, I do want to pull up our analysis and send us back just a little bit in time to about 3 p.m. So again, watch Palm Bay and just south of Palm Bay over the I-95 corridor as I back us up to about 3 o'clock. So let's pause this right here. This is where we were seeing severe thunderstorm warnings pop up just to the south in Indian River County, as well as just on the border of Osceola County, as well as Brevard County. So right at about 3 o'clock, you can see right about by Melbourne, we started to see this thunderstorm pop up. And as we continue through time right here, we saw a severe thunderstorm warning get issued, and I want to get the lightning off of here. There we go. So this area right here, Palm Bay just to the south and just to the west of Malabar, this is where we saw reports of almost what looked like tornado damage. Again, want to stress that there was no tornado reported. There was no tornado warning. However, this is what we call a microburst. And a microburst is a very, very powerful, isolated thunderstorm. And that's exactly what we saw here. So when we do see a microburst, there is extremely strong winds and it comes in all at once. It is just basically a wall of wind and a wall of water associated with that. But not only can you see right here, there's also the little bit of that hail core that was starting to fall. So Amy, this is going back to your comment right there that you got hail in Palm Bay. Let's switch to that first. This was the hail that fell pretty much over the I-95 corridor. And what I was talking about earlier, basically quite literally seeing almost ping pong balls fall. It was crazy. And it fell in a very short amount of time and it was very quick. So that was the hail portion, going back to Amy's comment right there. And then going back to what we saw with wind damage. So the fire department in Palm Bay reported house damage of a tree that fell onto a home. Luckily, the branch didn't go through the home. However, there was still damage to the house. And then there were no injuries, which is fantastic news, especially in a storm that picks up this quick. So taking a look in Palm Bay, I want to focus on first the shear rate, because as you can see right here, there was a little bit of that shear happening. That doesn't necessarily mean rotation, but especially because we were in a microburst situation, that definitely meant that this thunderstorm was picking up and gaining strength very quickly. So the one thing that I do want to show you is this is the storm relative velocity. And again, we show this when we're talking about tornadoes, but very similar to what we see in a tornado aspect. We have the green right here, and this is going towards the radar. Oops, there we go. This is going up towards the radar. This is moving away from the radar. So we were seeing possibly a little bit of rotation, but there was this space. Usually when we're talking about tornadoes, those are coupled right together. You can see the green and the red directly side by side each other. There was like a little bit of a space in between. So yes, there was possibly some widespread rotation, but there was still a little bit of that space. But with that, it's very much like if you're using a hose and you put your thumb over the top of the hose spout, the water comes out very quickly. And that's exactly what we saw here. We saw basically some very, very strong straight line winds from that microburst. So it was not a tornado, according to the National Weather Service. At the moment, they're probably going to take a look at it, maybe look back at it, but there was no tornado warning issued. However, there was a lot of hail because this thunderstorm was picking up very, very quickly. Let me get my little doodle out of there. But yes, this was at about 3 p.m. So Amy, thank you so much for that comment right there in that storm report. So there was hail, there was a lot of rain, there was a lot of wind, but again, there was a report of the possibility of what seemed like a tornado damage, but there was no tornado that was reported. Taking you through the rest of the afternoon, this is when things really started to fire up. Severe thunderstorm warnings basically all through Brevard County, and then continuing to fire up across Volusia County. We saw a severe thunderstorm warning in Flagler County, and now we just have this one right here in Lake County. So taking a look, this is the no lapse. Let's break it down once again. Possibly looking at a little bit of hail. Let's get another view of that storm right now. Okay, looks like there's a little bit of hail in areas right by Seneca, as well as Eustis, Fort Mason, and Dalhouse Acres, I believe. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. But overall, in areas especially across northeastern Lake County, you may be seeing a little bit of hail or extremely heavy rain with that storm right there. Nothing really too crazy when it comes to reflectivity. That's the good news right there. Maybe a little bit of what we were seeing with that wind shear as that storm was first starting to pop up. But again, seeing the little bit of hail in that hail core continuing to make its way just off to the southeast. So areas especially moving into northern Orange County. This storm going to continue to make its way southward. Right now moving at 14 miles per hour to the south. Yes, moving at about 14 miles per hour to the south. Come on, computer, work with me. There we go. So going to be seeing this storm continuing to make its way 14 miles to the south. So areas especially across northern Orange County and the Zellwood area. Again, Lake Mary is going to get hit with possibly a good amount of rain. Winter Springs, as the storm just continues to kind of ride its way down to the southeast. So that's what we're seeing at the moment. Let's take another wide look at everything. Just to put this into perspective, folks, we were seeing a lot of lightning earlier on. These lightning counts were well over 1,500, approaching 2,000 lightning strikes just within our viewing area. So showing you that now that the lightning count is 443 proves that these storms are just slowly starting to weaken in just a short amount of time. Again, this was at 3 p.m., so just in a matter of 2 hours, we saw those storms really pick up and die down very quickly, and this is definitely going to be the new normal, taking a look headed into our rainy season. So starting off, taking a look at a couple comments, seeing a few people write in. Billy Torres from Eustis. Let's take a look there. Okay, so Eustis, Billy, you are in that severe thunderstorm warning. Saturday, 6:15. Again, this is in effect for another 20 minutes or so, 20, 30 minutes. And we're just going to continue to see this thunderstorm ride its way down to the southeast, possibly making its way into Orange City as we head into a little bit later on this evening. So what we see with thunderstorms is once they get really strong, they do one of two things. They either stay condensed and they kind of just rain themselves out, or they split and they produce boundaries that can produce new boundaries. Kind of what we're seeing right here is that we see part of this storm going to make its way off to the east. Part of this is going to be making its way further south. But Eustis looks like as this storm continues to make its way east, you're getting some showers at the moment, but then we're continuing to see more of these showers make its way into Eustis a little bit later on. It's hailing hardcore in Winter Haven. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, so Polk County. Michael, that's not necessarily in our DMA, but we will focus on that. Polk County, when it comes to our viewing area, really we start to focus in on north of I-4, but we do have a lot of viewers in Polk County, so we love to talk about Polk County. And you said it's raining hardcore and hailing hardcore in Winter Haven. So let's take a look at that. Doesn't look like hail reports yet, but again, when we start looking at storms, sometimes we find that a radar is too far away and we're not getting a great picture. So let's actually switch over to the Tampa radar. Okay, it doesn't look like it's being picked up on radar, but you're definitely seeing some very, very heavy rain at the moment. For shear rate, does look like there's a little bit of wind shear. And it does look like there is potential for hail. However, it's not being completely picked up on radar quite yet. There we go. Had to switch around a couple products there. Yeah, so if you were in areas across Auburndale, just south of Polk City, you're most likely seeing some hail. Cypress Gardens also going to be seeing that hail as well. Winter Haven and most likely over to Dundee, we're going to be seeing more of that possibility of hail. Even further over into Lakeland Highlands, going to be seeing the potential for some hail as well. Let me see. Back over to, let's take a look at the Tampa reflectivity again. Yeah, so especially in areas right over Winter Haven, seeing the little bit of hail as well. Michael, if you're still watching on YouTube, let us know how large that hail is right now. And Deb, you just said Altoona and you're seeing hail in Altoona. Write that in if you can. Oh, thank you for the pronunciation on that. I appreciate that. And hail in Palm Bay. Okay, we covered that. But yeah, if you are currently seeing hail, Michael in Winter Haven, Lesson in Winter Haven, as well as Deb in Altoona. Definitely write us in of how big you think that hail is. But yeah, definitely seeing some hail in Winter Haven, Dundee, Polk County, headed up to Kane City within this entire string of showers and thunderstorms that we're seeing, backing down almost all the way to Lake Okeechobee. That's crazy how long. And it looks like we're seeing some dime-sized hail in Winter Haven as well. Let's take a look at... Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, so it's right in here. Way overhead, but I do love this product. Using our 3D aspect, if I can get it to work, to see really what's happening within the hail core itself. Let's see if I can get this to work. But Winter Haven over towards Inwood area and Tranquility Park, seeing hail right here, as well as over Winter Haven, as well as Cypress Gardens might be seeing some hail as well. And Dundee down to Waverly looks like just a lot of rain if you're in this Polk County area. In Winter Haven, size of my thumb. Thank you for reading. Of course, of course, of course. Actually, now that I'm here, focused on Polk County. Okay, so it's not under a special weather statement quite yet for this storm right here that's impacting Polk County. But we'll keep an eye on that storm in case it does start to get a little bit stronger. Do you want to check real quick, see if National Weather Service is saying anything about any of these storms? And again, if you're just joining us, still keeping an eye on this severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:15. Areas especially across Claremont. I saw a comment a little bit earlier if it's going to rain in Marion County. Marion County, pretty much in the clear, maybe seeing a couple more of those showers. We're seeing a shower by Bellevue right now. Let me switch back to our Melbourne radar. And areas across Bellevue and Altoona, as well as Big Scrub, and areas all throughout southeastern Marion County. You're going to be possibly seeing a few more showers, but other than that, that's about it. Things should start to fizzle out a little bit later on. But yeah, as you can see right here, we were seeing, just in the past 15 minutes, with this storm kind of raining itself out, it went from 130 lightning strikes down to 72. So slowly starting to rain itself out as Seminole Springs, Cassia, and well as DeBerry is also going to be getting a good amount of rain within the next 5 minutes. Making one last check on our National Weather Service chat, and then I'll switch back to Facebook and take a look at your comments again. Okay, so they're not watching anything in particular, and it looks like they let that go. Okay, so the severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for Lake County. So it looks like just a lot of rain continuing to make its way down towards Lake Monroe, Sanford, as well as Seminole Springs and DeBerry through the rest of the evening. One thing that I do want to check in on is for those who are watching in Winter Haven and we're writing in all about the hail. Let's switch back to our Tampa radar. Okay, Winter Haven, Cypress Gardens. Looks like there's another little bit of a cell that's starting to pick up that could cause a little bit of hail. But I do have access to the Tampa chat. Wow, there is hail that is being reported as ping pong size, which is about an inch. And extremely gusty winds. Yes, inch hail is being reported in the Winter Haven area right now. And extremely heavy rain. So this little cell that's forming right here, going to be making its way down to Eagle Lake, I believe is, yes. And then going to also see another little bit of a cell picking up again in Lakeland Highlands. It looks like it's picking up once again. But as we were talking a little bit earlier, if you joined me for my first breakdown that we did, thunderstorms produce each other. So we have this parent storm over here that's over Winter Haven, and you can see right here there's an arc that's forming. So if we stop the lapse real quick, this thunderstorm, it picked up and it was almost like a vacuum to air. And once that air cooled at the height of the atmosphere, it had to fall. And it basically just acts like water. Once it hits the ground, it just kind of has to spread out. So with that, you see this little bit of a green arc here. Going from about Polk City and areas just south of the Sumter County border, and down to about Fort Meade and Bowling Green. This is a boundary. This isn't rain. So this is actually air that's just being pushed out below the ground. So with that, this air is going to help really pick up this storm right here in Lakeland Highlands, make it a little bit more intense before it finally starts to fall and rain itself out over the Bartow, Lakeland Heights area. But that's all due because of this storm getting so strong. And it looks like these hail cores are slowly starting to collapse on themselves. Not seeing as dark of colors in that area. But again, let's check at our hail. Yeah, and not looking as much hail percentage or probability as we were just a couple minutes ago. Okay, seeing a couple people write in from Palm Beach. In here, we did see again a severe thunderstorm warning in Flagler County, but Flagler looks like it's pretty much calmed down now. So then back towards Palm Bay and Palm Beach area, going to be continuing to see more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms slowly just make their way offshore as we head through the rest of the evening. So other than that, that's pretty much what we're looking at. These storms have significantly calmed down from what we were looking at earlier on. We'll do a last check of our Facebook comments in a second because I've been accidentally ignoring you. But that's what we can see out there right now. Things are going to significantly calm down through the rest of the evening, which is a good news right there. Oops, there we go. And Fran from DeBerry saying we need rain for sure. And yes, you are going to be getting that rain very soon. We're going to start to see, where is DeBerry? Right here. Yeah, you're going to start to see a little bit of that rain from this storm that was in the severe thunderstorm warning in Lake County slowly start to make its way into DeBerry. So you will most likely start to see some of that heavy rain very soon. Before we do wrap up, I did see one comment right here. William, you asked what is hail. Let me see if I have anything that can explain this more visually. Personally, I'm a visual learner. I don't know if you can tell. But I thought I had something. One second, because that's a great question. A lot of folks really don't think that hail is a sort of precipitation. It's not necessarily. So snow, sleet, rain are the main three, as well as freezing rain. But hail is only found in thunderstorms. So hail draft. There we go, that's better. This is what I'm looking for. But because we've been getting so many reports of hail sizes, this is something that I do want to point out. Especially when we were talking in severe settings, non-severe, the hail can form in thunderstorms that are not severe, which is normal, especially for us here in Florida, especially when we see those thunderstorms pick up and die down very quickly. We can see pea-sized hail as well as dime and penny-sized hail headed into more severe storms, and some of the reports that we got today were quarter sized hail, as in the coin, not necessarily quarter inch. But yes, I see a comment right here. It's raindrops going through a cold sky during ice as it falls into it. That is right on the money right there. So I'll pull this in right here. Give it 1 second for it to load. So yeah, as a thunderstorm is forming, we see updrafts really start to push air and push water, other raindrops higher up into this thunderstorm. So as we see air get sucked into the thunderstorm, once that air cools high up in the atmosphere, it has to drop, and that's why we see those downbursts and those very strong winds right before a thunderstorm hits. So as that happens, we see those thunderstorms pick up rain and particles, and as they get higher up into the atmosphere, it's higher. The higher you get, the colder it gets. So as these particles either clash into each other, they get bigger and bigger as they get higher up into the atmosphere and collide with other particles, and then eventually they're too heavy in order to stay airborne, so they fall. And when they fall to the ground, that's why we see the hail that we see during the thunderstorms like we saw today. So a good step back from that. I didn't realize some folks didn't know what hail was. Lord, me too. Lord Andrew, thank you for writing in. I'm a Fox weather freak too. Very nice. Okay, so that's what hail was. That's what we were seeing. Crazy hail today. In some areas, they were ping pong ball sized. So that is some of the things that we were seeing from storm reports today, and that was one of the big heavy hitter ones that we were keeping an eye on today as well. One area that I am just clocking in right now that I just want to check in, and then we'll wrap up very soon. Just checking in on this little storm right to the south of Claremont right here. Looks like just a lot of heavy rain, maybe a little bit of hail associated with it. Doesn't look like much right now. I think it's just picking up extremely heavy rain. But again, just breaking down the radar once again. If you're in Flagler County, things are clear. Areas across Alachua County, Levy County, Dixie County, you are clear for tonight. Areas across southern Marion County, maybe seeing a couple more showers through the rest of the evening, but things should start to fizzle out pretty quick. Headed over more towards Seminole County and Brevard County, as well as southern Lake County. Still seeing a couple of those thunder showers out there right now. Orlando seeing some light rain, but all of these heavier showers going to be making their way eastward as we head through the rest of the evening. So all of these storms making their way towards Altamont Springs and over the I-4 corridor as we head into a little bit later on. Back down towards Polk County, because we had a couple folks set in for that. Yes, moving southeast, most of these storms, or directly east. So areas especially across Polk County. Let me pop up our special weather statements. Okay, not seeing any there. That's good. Looking areas just north of Bartow, but south of Lakeland, seeing a thunderstorm that's starting to pick up. But it looks like just a lot of heavy rain in areas Dundee down to southeastern Polk County. Still looks like a little bit of a hail core, maybe producing some small hail just to the north of Eagle Lake in Polk County as well. And again, these are all going to either fizzle themselves out or slowly start to make their way east as we head into a little bit later on. Last update that I'll bring more just for forecasts of what's happening right now is Justin just wrote in on YouTube, Northeast Lake County on the Volusia County Lake County border. Volusia County Lake County border, and you said, okay, we'll go right here. Okay, so what we're seeing right here is some light rain, but a heavier rain making their way a little bit to the east. Some of these storms may dip just to the southeast, more towards Sanford, but we're seeing lots of light rain, but some of those heavier pockets may move over you, Justin, as we head into a little bit later on this evening, as we see some of these storms right now over the villages make their way eastward. But things are quiet right now. May see a storm pick up, but because of those daytime energy that we picked up during the day because of the heat and humidity, that's pretty much lost now. So we're really going to start to see these storms fizzle out and quiet down headed into the latter half of the evening. And again, we were keeping an eye on these storms that were holding well over 1,000 lightning strikes earlier on this evening, and at the start of the stream we were seeing about 400 lightning strikes. Now we're at about 264. So looks like these storms, with the exception of these few that are in Polk County just south of I-4 between Lakeland and Bartow, as well as parts of Winter Haven, those are going to start to quiet down a little bit later on as well, but they may pick up a little bit more as we head through the rest of the evening. So pretty much a rinse and repeat for tomorrow. I'll pop up your forecast for your rest of your Memorial Day weekend. Here we go. So here's your 7-day, folks. Let me actually pop up this one right here. That's a little better. Here's your 7-day, folks. We're going to be continuing to see this rinse and repeat afternoon, daytime thunderstorms picking up, dying down pretty much between the hours of 2 in the afternoon to about 5 or 6 in the evening, with scattered showers and a few lingering thunderstorms lingering as we head into the back half of the day. So that's pretty much a rinse and repeat for Sunday and Monday. Oops. Sorry, folks, using the wrong 7-day that I made. But the message is the same. Pretty much going to be seeing more of a rinse and repeat forecast as we start to pick up those rainy afternoon, evening settings that we normally see in the summertime here in Central Florida. So through the next couple of days, we are going to be seeing that rinse and repeat forecast as we head through the next couple of days. Here we go. Yeah, much better. So overall, for the next couple of days, again, seeing that very rinse and repeat forecast. Temperatures lingering throughout the low 90s, and as we take a look a little bit later on in the week, still continuing to see those thunderstorms ahead even into next weekend. Maybe a little bit of relief on Saturday, but it's a little bit too far to really pin down. But definitely make sure you are ready to go. To really start to see these afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Start bringing the raincoat to work or to school because this is pretty much going to be the new normal as we head into summer. It's the unofficial start of summer, folks, and we're going to be seeing much more summer-like conditions, not only with the heat, the humidity, and the storms headed through the next couple of months. Last thing before I let everybody go, the Fox 35 storm team has worked so hard on our hurricane special, and it's something that we're really proud of. I just saw the preview, and it looks amazing. Again, we put so much hard work into this, and we made it because of you. We got a lot of questions last year, and we answer a lot of them headed into this season, because not only did we learn a lot of lessons, we worked as a team, which was incredible. We have an amazing team here at Fox 35. And so make sure you join us for our Fox 35 2025 hurricane preview. Sorry, trying to find the graphic, because I also do have a favor for everyone as well. If I can just find this graphic. Bear with me, folks. Here we go. So over the next couple of days, our Tracking the Tropics 2025 Hurricane Season Special airs on Monday at 7 p.m. Make sure you mark your calendars for that. So with that, we're going to be answering everything, going over all the numbers, our prediction for the 2025 season. So make sure you tune in for this. It is Monday at 7 p.m. Make sure you watch. It's going to be on air. It's going to be on our Fox Local app. Be there, be square, folks. But this is where you come in, because afterwards, we are going to be doing a live Q&A at 7:30 on Fox Local, right here on Facebook, right here on YouTube. So make sure you tune in for that. And if I can find this quick enough, again, sorry folks, kind of doing this on the fly just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so our live Q&A is open, and we are going to be requesting questions that we will be answering live on the air after the fact. So I will actually pull this up full so you can see this. Scan that QR code that's right there on your screen. Take a snapshot of it if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, on your phone. So with that, you can scan that QR code and it'll take you to a link, and you can type in your question so we can answer it live after the special airs. It can be pertaining to the season ahead. How can you prepare? We really want to get you involved in as we prepare for our hurricane special. So just make sure you tune in not only for the special itself, but also tune in for the live Q&A at 7:30 p.m. on Monday directly after the special as we answer your questions about the 2025 hurricane season. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate everyone taking the time to hang out with me on this Saturday night. A little bit of a crazy day here, but overall it was busy, but ultimately we kept everyone safe, which was huge. Again, not seeing any injuries right now or reported from the National Weather Service, which is great. But this is pretty much going to be the new normal of what we're going to be seeing every single day through summertime as we see those afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms. So a little bit of a taste of summer for the unofficial start of the summer season. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and have a great and safe rest of your Memorial Day weekend.